Almost everywhere I go, people ask me, send us some help, send us some real sadhus to come and to inject more enthusiasm and more potential for the spreading of Krishna consciousness locally, for the inspiration of the new devotees, for the execution of so many things. And of course, this longing is beautiful. We always long for senior devotees, we always long for new devotees to help us. At the same time, this is rarely available. Not, I mean, a sannyasi can come and visit, that's possible sometimes, but rather rare. But really what it means is that we have to become those sadhus we are longing for to meet. Because it's so hard to get the sadhu to come to your home and then to give you a review on all the things you do if you want to. But I'm talking also about temples, not so much grihastas, but temples. They want always more energy, more beautiful panoramas for spreading Krishna consciousness. But the reality is that we have gotten the greatest of all the injections of all time. Please mark my words. All of us, excluding none, we got the injections of spiritual power of all time. When this pure devotee, Srila AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, was sent from the Indian shores, after having done a lifetime of service and preparation, but he was chosen for something nobody could even conceive of. In the names of Srila Bhakti and Srila, in the words, he said what Mahaprabhu had announced, what Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually tried to put into motion, what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati actually started to enact upon. That very plan was taken up by His Divine Grace Srila AC Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to spread the holy name of Krishna from shore to shore, mountain to mountain, country to country, village to village, and inspire people to take up this mission of Mahaprabhu to touch so many hearts we cannot even conceive of. And please don't consider that a thing of the past, because the fact that Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada left this world in 1977, this is in this story an irrelevant date, because his presence is felt through you and others, and you'll make it a standing reality that Prabhupada's words, books, messages will keep reaching out to the furthest of the shore of Kiruna, to down to the latest Antarctica research station. Everywhere people will hear and chant and develop consciousness, because Prabhupada is a transformer. He transforms the mind by his touch of Shraddha. So much that the beneficiaries, those who come in contact with him and they get touched in their heart, all of a sudden see the world in a different light. You could say a screen was removed. What was that screen? Very simple screen. I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine. That's the screen. I'm the enjoyer, I'm the controller, I'm the friend of everybody. I. And Krishna, where's Krishna? Who's Krishna? Who are you talking about? You mean that Krishna which is me? Some people would like to think that way. Oh, I'm Krishna also, then we can talk about Krishna. No, it's not you. Oh no, then I don't believe it. Mine is a screen. And that screen can be removed. It can be removed. It's not easy to remove, and it always tries to come back, but it can be removed by the touch of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. He did remove that screen from so many people's eyes. And he caught them out of wherever they were. Work in the hospital, come here. Lying in the street like a hippie, come here. Studying university, come here. Or stay there. But take it. Become Krishna's direct or indirect representative in this world. Meaning, spy intelligence for some, corporate responsibility for others. Srila Prabhupada called that Vaishya Rishis. Great business people, but they're Rishis because they use for proper, appropriate usage what the revenue. Politics. Prabhupada started the In God We Trust party. It didn't go very far at that time. Prabhupada often planted seeds which are supposed to go into action later, for good reasons. The divine has a plan for everything, including everything, is always watching after us. But Prabhupada had candidates for becoming mayors in the US in the name of the In God We Trust party. And now we got one of our devotees most likely becoming candidate for vice presidency of the United States of America. Prabhupada predicted one devotee will be president one day. I don't know when and why, when and where, but it looks like one of our devotees are going to run for vice presidency. And she's a girl. Her name is Tulsi Gabbard. If you hear her talk, you start crying. She's such a good, empowered devotee preacher. And she's already the most popular American woman in India. Everybody in India knows it. If she's actually ending up being vice president, there will be a revolution. That we will still have to see what Lord Krishna's plan is for now. But just that she made it to this becoming a vice president candidate is unheard of. So Lord Krishna, he has a lot up his sleeves. You know what that means? You know what the sleeves are? Huh? You don't know what the sleeves are?
The meaning of the word?
Yes.
Yes, of course, you know.
That's why I wonder. But not many people know that word.
No, we used to say in the school where I work, because if you're a teacher, you have to have many tricks
Up your sleeves.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Krishna has many tricks up his sleeves. That means what you can under here. And we just have to be hardworking and very obedient to the heart. So Prabhupada had a scope for everything. For scientists he gave us the Bhaktivedanta Institute and the Oida Therapy Institute, which is for scientists an incredible tool. And it is being shown. For peacekeepers, he gave us the Oida World Peace Therapy. That means anywhere there's conflict, we can come in with the Oida World Peace Therapy. And if you're capable to have some dominion about that subject, you'll be very surprised what happens. Very surprised. Like one of our devotees in Mexico, his name is Gyanananda, he just was appointed to be the Oida World Peace Therapist in all the jails of Mexico City. And he is giving his Oida World Peace courses to the prisoners, to the guards, and to the administrators on all the levels. They all understand we need here some new element to come in. I mean, what is the new element? It's the old element in new disguise, which is the thirst for truth in everybody. That's the element. And that's the element of the United Nations of the Spirit. I just wrote a letter about this yesterday, that the United Nations of the Spirit stands up for the truth. It's tattva, it's jnana, it is what is called Veda. Veda is the truth. Veda is not a book from India. It just happened to be so that they were writing lots of books called the Vedas, which are only dealing with the different tattvas of the truth. And believe this or not, unrefuted until today, 5,000 years later. The Britishers, they tried to refute it. They tried. Didn't fare well. They wanted to say that the Saraswati is a mythical river. Never really existed. Until they found the Saraswati River on the satellite images. And everything, Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, all these old civilizations, which they had no clue of where they came from, just turned out to be that civilization the Vedas are talking about. And now, just a short while ago, they started with the underwater archaeology, and they discovered the city of Dwarka. The city of Dwarka, a huge, huge city with many, many buildings, palaces and everything, under the water, right in Dwarka. They found the bridge of Lord Rama, Ram Setu, the bridge made from India to Lanka. Also, Britishers said, it's just mythology. And then they found the bridge. And they called it the Adams Bridge. And it just goes on and on and on and on. Erich von Däniken wrote, as many things under the sun and the earth which we don't have no clue of at all. We don't know. We are supposed to be highly scientific, developed people who don't speculate, and turns out that's not true. We just know a fraction, a glimpse. But the Vedas have not been defeated or refuted in any of the statements they make. Just consider that. The scientists, they changing their conclusions on certain things of science all the time. When Charles Darwin was making theories about cells and cell developments, At that time, cells were some little gray substances they could see under the powerful microscope of their days and say, oh, this is a cell. Nowadays, by science development, we know that what's going on in one cell, it is so many interactions, scientific organizations in a cell. You can watch a video about that which gives a very clear scientific expose, which is in one cell more things are going on than what human beings have installed in the city of Göteborg regarding water, telephone, electricity, everything they have installed in the city with all these mega industries and proud is much less than what's going on in one single cell of yours. Defenses, natural defenses. I mean, if you study the life of a cell, it's science fiction. You go bananas. And you have billions of them in your body. So, as far as science is concerned, they're always changing their concepts. It's always new. And when they discover the new, they discard the old. And in the meantime, they distribute their Nobel Prizes and all that, even for things which later will be discarded. Just like my godbrother, Vayashaki, he wrote a book called Cosmology on Trial. Now you should read that book if you want to talk about cosmology. In that book, he proved that Stephen Hawking should give back his PhD because it's based on speculations without evidence. And just he got it by his being in the circle, not because he gave anything which had not been said or not been there. So, Cosmology on Trial, it's a bestseller on Amazon. We already translated to Spanish, of course, until the things reach Sweden, you know, there's a few, goes to a few different. It's high up in the north, so we have to understand. Actually, it's my fault, or I don't know whose fault. Anyway, it's an amazing book.
I have it here.
You have it here. Now look, that's a connection. Huh? Bulgaria is Bulgaria. That's where the Aryans from the Bulgar mountains are. No? Anyhow, so the Vedas have not been changed. They didn't need to be revised. Yes, there have been commentaries throughout the ages, but they have not been revised. Now look at that. Look how they're making temples in India even today on the basis of Shilpa Shastra. Those Shilpa Shastras, they can put together 100-meter high, incredible, intricately carved temple without a bag of cement. Now what about that? Who is a scientist? Who is a constructor? Who knows the psyche? Natural sciences, which they call proudly the university. They're the places of the natural sciences. They do not even know what is the Atma. They have no place, no recognition for the Atma in their natural sciences stupidity. If you don't know the Atma, is like studying the eye by studying spectacles. Huh? Okay, I know everything about these spectacles. Yeah, but what about your eye? You know nothing. And then they call it science. Advanced sciences. So, and why is that not taken in consideration? Because if you study the Atma and you study the Veda, then our Western civilization is crushed. Crushed to be nothing but an ambitious and passionate colonialist striving of domination of others. Are you supposed to do that? No. Om Purnam Madapurnam Idam Purnat Purnam Mudakshate Purnasyam Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Everything in this world connected with the truth has its completeness in itself and fulfills its purpose in itself. So what does that mean? Ishavasya idam savam jat kincha jagatyam shagat tena tyaktina punjitaha magritaha kasya svidanam. Here is the total defeat of capitalism. The total defeat. It says, for everyone in this world, a quota has been set aside for his survival. Food, dress, air, water. And that is very nice. But if you take more than what you need, you become sinful. And that's what multinational companies are trying. To take more from nature than what they need out of greed, just to pocket it somewhere in some stupid tax evasion country and then get away with it. Like the Panama Papers, you must have heard. Just to have a little bit, a glimpse inside the filth of this materialistic society. A glimpse. It's nothing. So, the Vedas give the clear answer. You use what you need. And you work in any honest faculty that you can deserve also to get what you need. It's not, Ishavasya Idam Savam doesn't say, just be a bum and wait, we'll send you the package. That's not what Ishavasya Idam Savam said. It says, you fulfill your perfect function within that intricate system of the truth. And then you will be getting what you need, what you deserve, or what you will get by mercy. So where's the dignity? Where is the honesty in this educational system? Actually, our educational system can only be called one thing: shameless. They are shameless. They have exploited ancient wisdoms, destroyed ancient cultures, ignored good advice coming from rishis and from others. Everything they have thrown down the drain. They have, by power, have established their own wrong conclusions, which they call white supremacy. And this is so false that it is ruining our planet. It's not only bad and wrong, but it's actually detrimental and ruining our planet. And therefore, we have to fight it with love. But we have to fight it. We can't be silent. We cannot be just say, oh yeah, that's the karma of the planet. You are on this planet. You're responsible for your planet. What's the difference between you and Obama? Tell me. You're smart, he's smart. You can love, he can love. He has a family to look after, you have a family to look after. What's the difference? So by some karma he's a famous politician, so what? There's plenty of them that come and go, just like fireflies. They come and fly into the fire and finished. So our shameless educational system of the West, which is sustaining itself only by power and connection, that is giving the support to capitalism, which is another shameless aberration of proper behavior. It's the opposite of Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma says, Om Sarve Bhavantu Shukhina, everybody should be happy. And capitalistic proposal is everybody should be intoxicated, that they don't go against our way of controlling them. That's called the Caesarean principle of, to the people, give them bread and give them games. Make sure they're distracted. While you're making something nasty on this side, you just create a big thing on this side. Look, careful. Everything's done. And then when they look back, what happened here? Like they're making this international pact right now of commerce, World Open Commerce Pact, which is the absolute devastation of the individual development of any community. It's a handout to that people in America can create laws for Europe. Now what the heck is that? You know what they're studying right now in the European Parliament? Right now it's on the table. They study that if you are a farmer, you're not allowed to reproduce your own seeds. You're not anymore allowed to plant what came from your own plants. And it's a criminal offense to give or trade seeds with others. That's what they want to make law in Brussels. It's not through yet, but it's already half through. Just like in America, they have on the table this law to give, like, you make it a crime to sue companies like Monsanto. Something, I forgot the exact details, but it's something like ridiculous thing. Of course, it's all the Leela of Kali Yuga, no? You know, how bad does it have to become until we wake up? I mean, my dear friends, if we want to defeat that system, it's not at all difficult. Just follow Mahatma Gandhi's way of passive non-cooperation. We could get Coca-Cola out of Sweden within 1 month of nobody buying the stupid Coca-Cola anymore, which would only be a big boost of the health of Swedish people. Nothing else. And they would be finished. They would have all these bottles there full of that stuff and nobody wants to buy it. And the expiration date threatening them to go bankrupt. I mean, to do things the right way is not impossible, but you have to reach many people's awareness. And they are pretty much covered by the domination of media, brain washing or brain dirtying, more adequate term. So why the Vedas have not been defeated? Why they have not been analyzed? Why they have not even been studied? There's a good reason for that. Because they're very powerful. Just read the Bhagavad Gita, just reduce the whole study of the Vedas to one single book, which has been appreciated, which has the highest recommendation. Schopenhauer, Humboldt, you name them. Anybody with a brain gave the Bhagavad Gita the seal of admiration, not approval. Everybody understands I have no right to approve the Gita. I can only worship it, I can only praise it as something incredible. Even Albert Einstein, all these people. So what the heck, why this book is not taken serious then after it gotten all the approval? How do you get advertisement done? You get approvals for the product. You know what they call it? You should really laugh when you hear it. They call it brand ambassador. You have to get a brand ambassador. It means some famous idiot which is just going to make like and pointing out to it. That's a brand ambassador, you know? Something more stupid you cannot imagine. And of course he gets millions of dollars. First he became famous, now he's becoming a brand ambassador. You want me to put this on here? Official cheating by and the brand ambassador in extreme cases or in many is just a not so well dressed woman. It's like pushing her breast into the camera and saying, I love it. You too. So you know, it's the way the Vedas have been dealt with, the way the Vedic culture has been dealt with, the way any ancient culture has been dealt with, has only one single word as an answer. And that is crime. They have been dealt with in a criminal way. And that has neither been officially rectified nor recognized. And here we have the Vedas. We have the Manu Samhita. Nietzsche, not exactly known as for being a religious leader. Nietzsche, when he read the Manu Samhita, he said, this is the first book I see in my life which gives rights to poor people and women. Because in our westernized society, women and poor people have no rights whatsoever. Anyway, this subject is a long subject. We can all go on and on and on and on and on. And it's also boring because you already know all that. It's just a little bit the colorful presentation which kind of makes it a little bit exciting. But what really is the sum and substance here is what Srila Prabhupada gave us, is an eye-opener. It is a tool to apply to our life and to apply to our interaction with society, because we are also little Obamas. And hopefully better ones than he. Because he gets the Peace Nobel Prize and justifies that the United States can send a drone to any place in the world where there's somebody who's inimical to the United States. Where's the drone? Huh? He said it publicly. We have a right to kill anybody anywhere in the world who is against the interest of the United States. And he gets a Peace Nobel Prize. Nice guy, no? I mean, you don't know where the idiots, you know. Are they everywhere? Is there anybody making any sense? But anyhow, this is the way situation is. So if I call you another Obama, means I want you to become a leader of your community with the highest consciousness of love. Which he's supposed to be the guardian of the all happiness of the people in the United States, and why not of the world? They claim to be the world police, claiming, and bad job they do, but so at least we are also leaders of our people. And whatever that area is where you are supposed to lead, who knows? I never knew in my life I had anything to do with South America. I never knew in my life I had anything to do with natives, indigenous people. I never knew in my life that I would have ever anything to do with yogis and acharyas in Kumbh Mela and the Vishwa Vaishnava Rajsabha. I never knew about anything. It wasn't in my plans. I just wanted to get out of this madness. Like most of you, all of you, wanted to get out of this madness, and then I ended up in this situation and that situation, that situation, that situation. And that's good, because in this way my life should be of some service, no? At least the children should say, hey, my dad, he's great. Huh? I mean, that's the least you want to give to your child, no? That he can say, wow, I got a wonderful dad, wonderful mom. They fought for all of us like this. This is such an intimate relationship, you know. Like the child, he doesn't know who's Obama, but he knows father and mother. Huh? So who's important for him? Later, when he gets big, then he says, oh, there's this guy called Obama. Oh, I don't even know who's the president of Sweden, and I'm sorry. You know? It's not that I don't care. As a preacher in Sweden, I should have probably some service of giving counseling to the Brahminical counseling of Srila Prabhupada to the King of Sweden or the President of Sweden. Why you're laughing? Why you're laughing? Because they only listen to the billionaires who cheat the world? No, they should listen to Bhagavad Gita, they should listen to the Chanakya Pandits, they should really open their ears, and they would avoid a lot of trouble for themselves. So, but because I'm coming so shortly to him, but you guys should all know that. Sometimes I go and preach to the government. I was invited twice by the Colombian Parliament to speak to them about different issues. So, why not? Why we should deny information to the ones who have the power? Even though that they listen to you, it's another story. And if somebody is really listening there, then usually it disappears. Anyhow, what I wanted to say is that each and everyone's dharma is of the same importance. You cannot say this guy is a big important dharma and the other one doesn't. And I felt that very much when I was involved with the Oida therapy, because I could see that the Oida therapy just kicks out the entire psychology practically from before. Because the entire psychology is not based on the soul consciousness. It's just based on the observation of reactions of the mind towards different environmental influences and so, like trauma studies and all that. But it doesn't relate, or it doesn't go to the root of consciousness, and it doesn't go to the root of faith, where you do something good because you believe in it. Like psychology has no explanation for the quantum physics understanding that what goes against the rule is what makes the rule. What does that mean? We in the world, what Darwin says, survival of the fittest, would all be nasty. Because I'm fitter than you, I'm stronger. Bang! Now I take your things. So I survived because I was fit. So the survival of the fittest is the proposal of nastiness will win. But the psychology of the heart is that love will win. And that you have an ability to go the loving way and get rid of the nasty way, that is only possible by faith in the love part. And if you go that faith, put your faith in the love part, dedicate yourself in such a way, your contribution will be the opposed. And that's what Amit Goswami calls the quantum activist. And he said the biggest quantum activist is Jesus, because he says, love your enemies. Because everybody loves his friends. What's the big deal with that? Hi guys, I love you. Huh? But somebody comes and he wants to steal my money, steal my wife, and then I say, I love you. Hey, what's that? You must be mad, you know. No, I want you to be good. That's why I love you, because I see that in you you have the potentiality of the quantum mechanics application, which is called transformation. You can have transformation. How do you get that? Is there any mechanic? Is there any access to that transformation? Now the answer is more simple than you imagine. It's chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Or chanting any name of God in the spirit of calling for help. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalum Kalonas Devanas Devanas Deva Gati Anita. And who gave that to us?
Mahaprabhu.
Jai Gauranga. Yes. Undeniable. But Buddha said it. Jesus said it. Mahoma said it. All the religious traditions speak about the chanting of the holy names of God. The Jews, the Muslims, they all rosaries, chant, chant, chant. Very rarely people speak about it, explain it, and understand it, and see. And few people only know what are the 10 offenses which destroy the effect of the chanting of the holy name. Because not only you chant, you have to avoid the 10 offenses. And a few more other details. Shikshastakam. That is a glorious piece of literature, which we just rewrote. I just rewrote the Shikshastakam. In what sense did I rewrite it? So that it fit a totally universal understanding of original spirituality. Because the Shikshastakam, as you know it, has a few hints which will tie it to Vedic Dharma. So to avoid that people can read it and not feel intimidated or minimized, I rewrote it in such a way that it will be understandable to anybody from any religious background, to be a call of love of the highest degree. You can read it.
Yeah, in Spanish or English?
It's supposed to be in English, you know.
Wow.
So that is the proof that all religious teachers have confirmed the chanting of the holy names will change the consciousness, will create that transformation. Therefore, that's the first thing. If we want to have serious spiritual life, the first thing we have to do, chant the names of God. Or we have also simplified that in our, oh my Lord, please let me be an instrument of your love. Of course, we should say, oh my Lord Krishna, please let me be an instrument of your love. And if you are a Buddhist, you say, oh my dear Lord Buddha, please let me be an instrument of your love. So you should always add the name of God also there. But God is also a name of God. So it's not something that it's not accessible. Transformation will happen because when we feel there's a need for transformation. When we don't feel there's a need for transformation, nothing will incline us to open ourselves to transformation. So sometimes suffering is necessary. Sometimes suffering is necessary, really, that we will wake up and go into the world of transformation by chanting sincerely and by working sincerely. Sometimes we have to be slapped. Not by me, That Krishna takes care of. That he has a special department called Durga Devi section. Could you please pass on to the Durga section? You haven't opened your ears to the Krishna section. Now talk with Mother Durga. She's very kind, don't worry. She's only going to give you what you need to get. What means Durga also? Prison. Every country has a prison, even Switzerland, even Kuwait, even these places where have the richest people, they don't know what to do with all their money. Still they have a prison. And this material world is a prison for those who are not rectified yet. Strange, no? And people worship Durga, especially in India. Wow, you should see what they're doing in Durga Puja. You can't believe it. This is just a big opulence. Mother, we worship you. Please let us enjoy a bit. Anyway, it's a different story, no? Especially for the hard cases, they worship Kali. When to worship Kali, she's also Durga. It's actually no difference between Kali and Durga. It's just one of her features. But for the hard nut guys, worship Kali. And the garland of skulls, with a like a whacker, bloody whacker. I mean, I don't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I saw the Kali images. I said, they worship her? What do they expect? To be whacked to pieces and get your head into her garland? Or what is it what you expect there, You know why Kali is so angry? She's so angry when anybody hurts a devotee. That was shown with the story of Jadabharata in the Srimad Bhagavatam. There Kali said she is actually that angry only if somebody hurts the devotees. And there's a lot of hurting going on in this world, no? So I think Kali has no scarcity of skulls, Anyhow, enough of that. Fact is that Ma, Divine Mother, is calling upon all of us to become Krishna's devotees. That's what pleases her. That makes her soft and joyful. But for us, we have a secret that Srimati Radharani is the origin of Durga as well. And we prefer to serve her directly as she worships Krishna, because this is the divine Vrindavan pastimes. But Radharani is not less than Durga ever. She's the origin of Durga. And Lakshmi, and Saraswati, and Gayatri. They are all but expansions of the divine, original, female love potency. But that's Veda. Why we don't study that? Why don't we get insight of this? Why don't we go beyond the few images? Like we are belonging to iconoclast style society. You know what's an iconoclast? You know that? You know? What do you learn in university? You know what's an iconoclast?
I can't remember actually.
The one who opposes.
He's somebody who wants to destroy any image of divinity. Iconoclast you know, icon. This is from the Russian Orthodox. They paint those icons, Jesus, Mary. That's icon. But icon can also be a deity in a temple in India, or it can be in the sanctuary of the natives. It's a Shiva linga, and for the Muslims, it's the Kaaba. They are all icons. And iconoclasts, they say it's nothing. Pulverize it. Has nothing, no importance. And you worship it. You know, like, give an example. Sorry, somebody says, take Krishna, take Mahaprabhu, and melt him back into iron, into copper. Melt him, we don't need him. That's an iconoclast. He will say, he'll be more valuable melted than there, worshipped by you. Then the devotee goes, over my dead body, yes? Oh my God, over your dead body? You mean you worship him more than your own life? How many people have died for defending their deity? So it's a very important thing, iconoclast. And this is, our society has been iconoclastic. It has devastated the religious respect on so many levels, and there they have put Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, this man, Kali man, and of course, Musalman. They have created the Musalman. Have you heard about that? First, the Superman can fly in the sky. The Batman has this mobile, he can go anywhere he wants. The Spider-Man, he jumps from building to building, and the Musalman, he flies through buildings.
They put now Hanuman, like joking, because like they imitate the Hanuman actually.
That's good. So, iconoclast is very dangerous because you take away the sacredness of something. You deny the sacredness. Now, what's sacred about my dear Mahaprabhu there? He's sacred because he reveals to us that everything is sacred. Iconoclast, he would say, he's not sacred, he's just atoms. I destroy him, and you're also not sacred. You're just a slave, or you're just a consumer, you're just a utility for me. He's not sacred, and you're not sacred. Nothing is sacred. Only my bank account that's sacred for me. Iconoclast, because it's a total, and like Muslims, they are stupid because they are iconoclastic. They have devastated wherever they conquered. They have destroyed the deities. And then you go to the Kaaba, it's a Shiva linga. I mean, what is this? You know, you destroyed all the temples and now you're worshipping a deity here. What is this? You know, will it make any sense? You know, the Kaaba, they all walk around the Kaaba. They never show anybody what's inside the Kaaba, but inside's a Shiva linga. And in the native culture, like there was this one joke. They invited all the native chiefs of some of the tribes to New York, to the United Nations, for the day of the original people. No, you know. So they paid them tickets. They brought them in New York in all their native dresses to make it look good for the press. And after the meeting was over, the UN meeting, so they said, you want to have a New York tour, like look at New York. So they took him on a bus and they stopped in front of the Empire State Building. And then the guide says, here is this beautiful building which was constructed by this and this and that. And he looked around and the natives, they were laughing. He said, why are you laughing? He said, this teeny little thing, we worship our mountains, our Illimani, our Aconcagua, our holy Torres de Paine. this is where the Holy Spirit resides. You just have this teeny little concrete pillar here, meaningless, full of nonsense, and you think that's impressive for us? All the caves for them in the world, they're amazing. I mean, there's caves, airplanes can fly inside, you know. So, in other words, we have a lot of work to do. So if you want to worship God, respect the way everybody worships God in his way. When I go to my friends, see natives, they take me to their sanctuaries. Not easy that they'll take you there. I just got an invitation to go up to the Sierra Nevada to see the Sancto Sanctorum, but nobody's otherwise allowed to go there, unless by the kind revelation of them. And when I see them, they're just the incredible phenomena of this world. They see the divinity in that. You can see divinity in the cell. It's very small, but there's divinity inside. Without the divinity, no cell would be living, would exist. But to worship one cell would be a little bit strange, you know. You can't even see it. That's our altar. What's on there? A cell. Of course, then some people think big is beautiful, no? I mean, it's also something. Ever since that idea came to India, you have like kind of Hanumans, like huge, and Mahavirs, and huge. But Jiva Goswami didn't believe that. He worshipped Radha Damodar, and Radha Damodar is just teeny like this, no? And he's quite fine for the whole Sampradaya to be inspired by. Any questions, my friends? I'm very, very happy to be back in Sweden with you. And I hope I can fire you up more enthusiastic to take more care. Wherever you are a walking embassy. You are a walking embassy of love and light. Make it be felt around you. Recommend the transformation of chanting the holy names of the Lord, reading the Gita, associating with devotees, or whatever else comes your way handy for sharing with others. Any questions?
Yes. I wonder what is the point of the Kali Yuga. Am I allowed to ask that question?
Satya Vratam. Oops. Created a problem, huh? What is the point of Kali Yuga? I love this question because it obliges us to be self-critical. Sval Penjan Kalau Yasmin Yuge Jana Manda Samanda Matayo Manda Bhagyahu Upadruta. This is one of the first verses in the Bhagavatam. It explains the need of the Kali Yuga. He says the Kali Yuga has come in a way to wake up those who are the laziest, the less intelligent, the less sincere, who have gotten the invitation of Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and they still linger on, full of this materialistic, I want to get this and that, and they have become so divided over everything. So we need to get them the Kali Yuga atmosphere to hopefully wake them up. It's not exactly charming, the reason, no? It means there's another way Prabhupada used to say, either you learn by hearing or you learn by suffering. And some people, they don't even learn when the suffering comes. Then they get another chance. First of all, at the pralaya, the destruction, time of destruction, you get the resting time in Mahavishnu. And then you come back, and again your cycle starts. Because regardless of our stupidity, God loves us. But He doesn't want to take away our free participation. And another thing I must add there, as I see a certain vibration going through your eyes, and that is, don't question the good intentions of the divine towards us. Don't do that. Don't allow your mind to do that. Because if you do that, it's like, here we are, little stupids. They say, God, could you please come on this chair? This is the accused chair. Now we're going to bring, hey, prosecutor, could you please present the case against him? And you sit yourself on the judge seat. No, my Lord, I will check you out. No, this Guru Maharaj says you should not do. It doesn't belong to us. This position of questioning the good intentions of the Creator towards us. It destroys something with us. It creates a kind of artificial pride. And this artificial pride, by the way, is very popular because those who deny the existence of God, they not only put Him on the accusation chair, they already deleted Him as the accused doesn't exist.
I did add the question, am I allowed to ask that question?
No, your question is perfect. Why is there Kali Yuga? That question is perfect, and it's answered in the Bhagavatam. No, but I took it a little further. No, what if our mind allows himself to question the good intentions of the Creator, or to question the existence? Like, where do we have a right to breathe? Who gave us the right to breathe? We didn't pay for the air. How we have the right to drink water? How we have a right to eat a plate of food? At least we have to be grateful, say thank you to whoever may be responsible for it. No? Call him whatever you wanted, but be grateful. And that's what the natives teach us. That's why it's called the United Nations of the Spirit. That is the spirit of gratefulness. Without deep spirituality, there's nothing's going to happen. Nothing is going to change in us. And that's what Krishna says. Anybody who eats without offering to me is just eating sin. Even the strictest of the strict vegan. But if he's not offering his food to the Lord, he's also eating sin. Even if one only drinks water and don't offer that water to the Lord, he is drinking sin. That's what the scriptures say about this. Gratefulness, gratefulness, gratefulness. Because you know what comes after gratefulness? Joy. But without gratefulness, no joy appears. Then we go depression. Cannot make sense of the whole thing. We feel like hopeless, no future. With gratefulness immediately. Kijai, Hayaya, Utsa. And that is the spirit of the ancient wisdom. So somehow our Western society has put the mind above everything. Has not produced very good results, but that's what practically westernized, mundanized, secularized thinking is. My mind above all. No obedience to any higher authority, because I question the authority principle in itself. Children sometimes do that, no? They question the authority principle of the parents in itself. But only as long as they are very well fed. Because once the hunger comes in the stomach, then your anti-authoritarian system turns into begging like a monkey. Vrindavan monkeys are great teachers. They can teach you between humility and false ego explosion. More questions? Yes.
I have a comment.
Yes.
I read yesterday that there was in an island, some villagers in an island, they found a doll floating ashore.
A what?
A huge doll, a human-sized doll floated on the shore, and they saw it as a divine spirit, and they started worshipping it in this island. And then the authorities got suspicious somehow. The authorities heard about it, and they came there and found out they saw it as a sex doll. It was actually a sex doll that they had found, that had floated ashore on the island. So the authorities took the doll and went away with it. But it's interesting the different perspectives. Like these islanders, they saw it something divine coming, and that it has been used for something.
Yeah, this is a typical story which is produced by iconoclasts.
Yeah.
They will produce such stories just to say, just see how primitive and stupid everybody is, worshipping this deity and that deity. No, we just destroyed it and so. But if they or anybody sees divinity in something, then divinity will be there.
Yeah, they dressed
The
her up.
divinity will be there when you direct your heart towards divinity. That is called pranpratishta. Pranpratishta is when somebody, the face of the guru, calls the spirit of the divine into this, or like in the Navakalevaram, that is when the spirit of Jagannath is put in his heart, that spirit. No? But it's all on the level of the subtle, it's on the level of the faith. So in this way, if that face was produced them, that they thought maybe some deity has come, and they saw the divine in it. They didn't worship it though. That's yeah, but it sounds like.
But why the
But you have to
took
know
it?
them, huh?
Why the authorities took it? It's really strange.
Well, where did that happen?
It's quite some reason I cannot say right now.
It's an old story.
No, it was right now.
The iconoclasts have a few stories like that
Yeah.
to show. Oh,
It was really written like how stupid these islanders were, and showing them
Yeah,
the picture, finding the dog. It's terrible. It actually, they made nice. They put very nice clothes on the doll, and they were like very happy.
You know, plus there's another thing which is not. We are not against it, because it's on every level. You find so many things. There's many people have have certain statues and figures for ghosts. They worship ghosts through that, but we don't worship them because we don't believe what they ask and what they are offering has anything to do with divinity. You can identify a certain thing, you know. Like if a devotee comes to me, Gurudev, 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 be so kind, give me your mercy. What do you want? I need a wife. I need a knife. Why you need a knife? Because I want to kill this guy. He's really nonsense, you know. Then sorry, you know. But if you would ask for a plate of prasadam, I happily give to you. But I won't give you a knife for doing nonsense. So in this way, we have to identify what is the questioning, what is the party issuing, and what is the party requesting really want. Then we can identify according to 3 modes of material nature what kind of worship is that. Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita goes extensively to explain that everything exists, has different approaches. And in the Ueda therapy, we have used that principle for understanding what is the healing circle for coming to a higher understanding. We just changed the terminology for people to understand it rather than accept it as like a religious dogma. We just say no, realize it, see it, observe it, qualify it, and then act upon it. Now I have to go somewhere.